Action. Alright. Welcome to the Bossed Up Podcast, where we give you the media from our perspective. For those that may not be familiar, introduce yourself one time, OG.
Oh man, you know it's Hustler E, King Mac, G.O.D., you know what I'm talking about? PSV 69th Street, between the Dewey Park and the Green Store, man.
No, for real. That's the old PSV, huh?
Yeah, before the fences got put up.
Yeah, no, for real. Hey man, we're gonna jump right into the interview, man. For our younger audience, tell me what the music scene looked like when you was first coming out in Waco.
Well, you had it was a lot of people, everybody was rapping, you know what I'm saying? I don't say everybody, it was breakdancing first.
Yeah.
So you had the breakdancers, then you had, people just freestyling, you know what I'm talking about? But I had some little partners from the hood, Vision of Perspective, you know what I'm saying? They had put the first CD out that I was seeing, you know what I'm saying? But you had to be a hustler, man, when I was coming up with this music shit.
Well, was it similar to how it is now, or was it a lot different? And if it was different, what was the difference?
Back then, anybody could jump on a computer and say they this and that. Right now, you could jump on a computer and just say you anybody.
Yeah.
But if you were rapping street shit when I was coming up, you had to really be about that. You know what I'm saying? Because there wasn't no internets, and you had to be in the streets to sell your music.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you kind of touched on what my follow-up question to that was, were there any other local acts that were popping this shit like that when you was coming up that maybe like influenced you, or like when you was young, you was looking at them like, okay, them the guys and something like that, or was it somebody hot before you, or were you the one that took it to that level?
No, it was DK, my partner.
Yeah.
He was like one of the hottest in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Freestyle. See, I wasn't no rapper. I was just around, I was just, making sure they was straight, and hey, we represent the hood, you know what I'm saying? But nobody fuck with him, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
His name DK, y'all gotta look him up too, you know what I'm saying?
To give the audience a time stamp, by what time, what were we talking, early 90s?
Man, we talking 85.
Yeah.
We talking 86, 80, all through there, you know what I'm saying? We talking 87. We all went to we went to Paul Quinn when Paul, that was the original black college in Waco. We used to go to Paul Quinn. We was kids, you know what I'm saying? We used to, just chant songs. It wasn't rapping, it was just chanting.
Yeah.
Because we come up on R&B, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. All right, man. So what are some of the pros and cons of having physical tapes and CDs versus the digital era? What are the pros and cons of the two?
Man, back then you can get from $5 to $20 for a CD.
Yeah.
To my walk at the house, make $500 to $2,000 or $3,000, depends on where you was going.
Yeah.
Right now you getting less than a penny for a song. But you got the world. The good thing about her, about this digital game, you can market in Japan, you can market in Germany, you can market wherever you want to. You ain't got to leave your crib, you ain't got to leave the couch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the young generation, I feel like if they just learn the business, they got some money, shit, ain't no limit, man.
See, and I think one thing that's dope about you, so when you was first dropping, what kind of form were y'all putting out? Was it cassettes?
We put out cassettes.
Put out cassette tapes. And for you to transcend eras all the way to the digital era, it's commendable, you know what I'm saying? That's some dope shit.
I seen it all, man. I seen from 8 tracks.
Yeah.
For it's digital now, you know what I'm saying? 2-inch reels, 8X,
What was recording like when you had to put cassette tapes out? Because now, you know what I'm saying, like we can punch in, we can do all that. What was it like recording?
You gotta know you better have your shit wrote before you got it there.
no punch.
It was $100 an hour, $150 an hour studio time back then, You dealing with real studios, you know what I'm saying? Right now you can put this shit in your crib and just for nothing.
Yeah, man. So touching back on the physical versus digital, which one do you prefer?
I prefer physical myself.
And why?
Shit, I can walk in my house and get money. I can walk in my house and pay my rent in one day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That CD, that's your bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's your dope sack. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real.
And ain't nothing else working. You know what I'm saying? If you've been promoting in the streets, or if you're that nigga in the streets and you doing music, you're gonna walk out your door and get money because your shit they know your shit official. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. My next question would be, what would you say the biggest difference in the hood from the 80s and 90s to now is? Not even touching on the music, just the hood in general.
Like back then, you know, we was together, you know what I'm saying? Like we would throw parties and shit. You know, like, you know, far as from my crib, you know, we was good in the hood, so I was feeding everybody, you know, my family, we didn't give a damn. Right now, you know, it's like real cutthroat. You know, we don't even see no hood, like ain't nobody outside, you know. We was coming up in the hood, you know, you outside from day to night. Now, you know, I ride through the hoods now, I don't even see nobody out unless it's late at night or something, and it don't look unified to me, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And that kind of leads into my next question, man. And it kind of goes, I had a statement with it. I said, I see so many youngsters in the hood headed towards self-destruction to a point where it's almost celebrated. What is the biggest problem with our culture, and what is it going to take to get us back on the right track?
Our biggest problem, man, we lack of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have no knowledge, you blind, deaf, and you dumb. You know, your main thing is try to get some knowledge. You know what I'm talking about? Because you ain't got no knowledge, you lost.
Where does your average young hip hop kid get knowledge from these days?
Man, you got a phone.
Yeah.
You know, you got a phone. You know, this era got way more access to knowledge, but you know, most of the time they on the motherfuckers. I mean, I ain't even cuss, but I'm just saying.
No. Hey man, I want to say it before we started. This is completely uncut.
Shit.
Talk like how we be talking on the
Shit,
phone.
goddamn shit. That's what I need to know. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know. What'd you say? Say that again.
What is the biggest problem in our culture, and what is it going to take to get us back on track? And then my follow-up question was, where does the young hip-hop kid from the hood, where does he get his knowledge from? Because just like you said, they got access to more knowledge than ever, but they also, it's just the information era, but it's also the misinformation era. So just as much good information is out there, there's twice as much bad information or false information. So where does a young kid from the hood get knowledge from?
Man, you gotta get knowledge of self, really. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find out who you is first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, once you get on the track what you on, you know, you go search for them things, you know what I'm saying? Like knowing where your heritage come from, you know what I'm saying? Knowing who invented a lot of things in this country, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, by going to school, we didn't learn that. But right now, you can go on there, they even showing you that Jesus was black now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we never heard of that coming up. You know, everything was white, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So right now, you can just go, get on your phone, and just research. But you gotta be searching for knowledge, man. That is the key.
So that would be your answer on what it's gonna take for us to get back on track?
Yeah, I mean, we never was on track.
Yeah.
You gotta think, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably second or third generation of ghetto in America, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, we never was on track, you know what I'm saying? Because in my time, you know, a motherfucker just can get on the TV and we're gonna believe whatever they say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we were still lost back then too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't know nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the newer generation, I feel like the newer generation, they sharper, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I don't never talk down on like generations really, because I was part of a young generation when I was coming up,
right, when
the older people didn't understand me.
Right.
So, you know, I look at the young.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I dig it. That shit. Sometimes, man, this young generation, they reject knowledge though.
Yeah.
I
rejected it.
Yeah.
And I'm old school, you know what I'm saying? I rejected it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to hear nothing. I had to go out there and fall on my face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you fall on your face, you know, okay, I can't do that no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or it's better to listen to somebody else that tell you, but that's just not in our nature. You know, most, you know, urban kids, we finna go out there and, you know, we're gonna fall on our face.
Yeah. I feel like gotta be a certain kind of individual. You gotta have something to show for yourself for them to take the knowledge from you.
Yeah, you gotta be getting money.
Yeah.
These niggas ain't trying to hear nothing come from no broke nigga.
No, for real.
You know, it's a different mind. You could be the smartest nigga in the game, but if you can't show these young niggas you got some, they ain't trying to hear that shit, man.
That shit going to the side, man.
Yeah.
What do you think about what do you think about ICE and the new immigration policies?
Shit, if you're not legal, you need to get up out of here. That's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? If you're not legal, you ain't with the documents, you know what I'm saying? You got to go.
I agree with you to a certain extent. It's just, to me, so how do you determine who's illegal and who's not? So then you're going down a slippery slope prejudice and I mean they've already been doing that shit, but you judge the book by like shit. If I go out and dress like that, they run up on me and try to grab me. You know what I'm saying? But I got all my papers. But so it's just to me it's a slippery slope. I agree that something needs to be done, but I think how they going about it, I think it's gonna cause a lot of shit. Man.
It got to be protocol.
Yeah, no, any kind of successful business gonna have some.
It got to be protocol.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like right now, you got to think. You know, you got illegals in here, then you got people that's from here. Say you're a contractor,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't gonna be able to compete. Not if you're an American, you ain't gonna be able to compete. You gonna have to lower your. You are gonna lose money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just trying to compete. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's fair. You know what I'm saying? Not for the people that's legally here.
You saying for the contractors that hire illegals,
Illegals.
they give them cheaper wages, and the other ones that are doing it right by the book, they can't compete with that.
Can't compete with it.
I see that.
So everything gonna go down. You know, drugs. You got fentanyl all over this mother. You got, they saying trafficking going on in this motherfucker. They say what, 300-some thousand people died of fentanyl
Yep.
a year. You know what I'm talking about? You know, so that's a different type of drug.
What are your personal feelings about Trump?
I fuck with Trump
Why that?
because he ain't no politician. He a hustler. You know what I'm saying? He doing what he said he was gonna do. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna be perfect. You know what I'm saying? I fuck him because he ain't no politician.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen, I'm throwback. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen no president talk like this. You know what I'm saying? But he's going, you know, cutting the chase, getting straight to it. You know what I'm saying? You either like him or you don't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll ever have a woman president?
Shit, if we do, it's fucked. I'm talking about that's emotions and feelings.
Wow.
Emotions and feelings.
Emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of women personally that when Kamala, they tried to slide Kamala in there, and I knew a bunch of women that were the loudest about it. Like, nah.
Nah. She wasn't no president material. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't even claiming she was black.
Yeah.
You know, till the time was right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of us in our communities, you know what I'm saying, we so blind, you know what I'm saying, lost. They could just put a black person in front of us and we think we're supposed to vote for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about, do you qualify?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck what color you is. Do you qualify to do this job?
So what are your thoughts on where America is headed? Are we on the up and up, or is the country on the decline? And why?
You know me, I look at America as Sodom and Gomorrah. I look at it as the old Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever I done read in the Quran or the Bibles, as far as wicked countries, you know what I'm saying, America, you know, it looked like it was that country, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But you know, I feel like you got some original people in America that just keep America from really just blowing up for real, you know what I'm saying? You got some people that's here that's supposed to be here, and it's like, I feel like it's blocking out certain energies from America, you know, because, you know, China not playing, you know, they not playing.
So you think we're on the up, or we're on the decline?
No, I think with Trump, how he moving, he can up it up.
Yeah.
You know, but when Biden was in, it was just decline. You know, the government was just sending money to whoever. You know, they was, you know, keeping wars going on. And I feel like Trump, you know, the movement he on is gonna bring it up a little bit, even though it's gonna make it like it's bad at first, because everything gonna jump at first.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, give it about a year or two, and I feel like we going in the right direction.
Yeah, I could dig that. Do you feel like the U.S. dollar is crashing?
And the U.S. dollar ain't worth nothing, really. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing but gain.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? You know, some countries, U.S. dollar ain't worth
No.
pennies. You know what I'm saying? No, U.S. is hustlers. You know, we sell dreams. Our money gonna always be worth something around the world because we the biggest consumer.
Right.
They need us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They need us. You all know China. Yeah, China need us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? For them to prosper.
Yeah, we're their biggest consumer.
We the biggest consumer. You know, we the biggest. You know, you either eat or get ate here. You know, you either hustler. You know, you a seller or you a buyer. You know, America one of them countries. You know what I'm saying?
You think?
Go ahead.
You think we'll convert to all digital currency? All Bitcoin and Cash App and all that kind of shit. Just do away with the paper dollar and all.
You know, I don't see it in my time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People still chasing that dollar bill.
In your time.
At my time, you know, it might come. But you know, it's eventually gonna come because everything digital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I go places and shit, my kids football tournaments and something like that, bro. There's more times than not, bro. They ain't taking cash.
Yeah.
I went to go pay my cell phone bill not too long ago. They charged me motivated cash.
Well, they gonna have to force it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they doing pretty much to cash out. It's just, you know, they already got a plan, you know what I'm saying? We just going through the motions right now.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I want to tap in.
Yeah.
They got. I know you're in tune. We'll kind of see that there's a scheme and a plan going on. So.
Always. Yeah, for real.
What are your thoughts on the plane crashes recently in America?
Hey man, they say it's, what's that, DEI? Or,
Yeah, I seen something like that.
Some people don't qualify to be in the positions they are. You know, I don't believe in no magic, you know what I'm saying? I believe in actual facts, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know, they say some people weren't qualified to be, you know, sitting up in them towers.
So, and I'm not familiar. I seen it briefly, but I didn't tap in and get all the information. I know that they was cutting a bunch of those jobs and stuff like that. You think that has?
They should, you know, because when Biden came in, I guess he was just trying to appeal to every race. So he just put people everywhere. I'm not saying they weren't qualified, but I'm just saying, you know, I ain't never seen that many colored people in office. You know what I'm saying? Me coming up, you know, because we the minority. Of course, there's gonna be more white people in certain jobs.
Right.
You know, me myself, man, best man for the job. And if we got to work harder to get in the position, that's what we got to do. But I don't think you should just, you know, you can't put nobody in no position because of no race.
Yeah, when you touched on that, I agree with that, because when I seen that they put Kamala Harris in there, and then they had like Megan Thee Stallion twerking up there at this presidential rally and shit like that, like to me, that I took, and I don't have a horse in the race. I don't vote. I don't pick a side or none of that shit. 'Cause I don't subscribe to none of that shit. I feel like when you become part of the circus, you a clown too, and I just feel like it's a broken system. But
That's what they think of us.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I took that as a slap in the face. That's what they think. But they think they can just put somebody up there twerking in front of us, and that's
what we is. That's what we is. That's what they thought we were, but people done grew. Because they did that about 4 years ago. You know, niggas would have ran to the poll and voted. But I feel like, no, because of the computer, because of social media, niggas ain't falling for that shit no more, man.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the LA fires? Do you think they're natural fires that are starting on their own?
They know it's what, Santa Ana wind coming every year, right?
Right.
They know this. So why would you drain a lake? You know, in the water, no pressure in the water. So you drain a lake and you say it's because of some little invasive species of fish that don't supposed to even be here no way. So that's why you drained into the ocean, you know what I'm saying? So now all this is set up, you know what I'm saying? You gotta think all them rich folks up in them hills, they got billionaires, they was already talking about, you know, buying California up. You know, you got a lot of billionaires in there. All this ain't nothing accident.
Yeah.
You know, all this is, you know, this is game. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got no game, you're gonna be lost, man.
I mean, it couldn't be a coincidence that all those insurance companies backed out.
They knew what was coming.
Yeah.
You know, all the big wigs knew what was coming, man. You know what I'm saying? And hey, man, they giving out $750 to them folks.
Lost their house, lost everything. Take $750.
With no insurance. Now they coming up buying their properties from them, cheap.
Yeah.
Stuff that was worth millions, they offering 700,000, 500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of felt there was some land development kind of like you said, back to what we said earlier, there's a plan for it. You know what I'm saying?
For every action, there's a reaction, man. This ain't nothing but game. If you ain't peeping it, you gonna be a sucker, man.
You know, I got a lot of ties in LA, and I was worried about people looking at the news and stuff like that. And I called them, and they was over there barbecuing, having a good time. I said, bro, they not, whatever's going on over there, they not targeting us in the hood and stuff like that. They targeting them.
Yeah, for the rich folks, man, they trying to, you know, people leaving California anyway. So they trying to, you know, redevelop, billionaires coming through there buying up property. Hey, man, that's a big old scam, man.
Do you believe religion was made to control us?
Yeah, of course. Religion means to rely on, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's gonna make you rely on everything but yourself. You know, me, myself, you know, like, if you read the story of Abraham from the Quran to the Bible, he was just searching for God, you know what I'm saying? You know, my mama, she was pushing that Christianity on me, but I was one of them little bad kids. I always had questions like, what you mean walk on water, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little boy, she just telling me to shut up, you know what I'm saying? So when I can't, you know, religion is a game, you know what I'm saying? First of all, you gotta see where the books come from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's in the Bible. You gotta know that, you know what I'm saying? You gotta see where it comes from. I'm just saying any religious person, like some people put their life on the line behind religion and they don't even know where it comes from.
Right.
So, you know, yeah, religion here to control you. Religion and politics, you know what I'm saying? It's the same.
Yeah.
Hustlers.
It's crazy you said that, bro, because I distinctly remember when I was sitting up in church with my mom, and as a kid, just a innocent, honest question. I said, "Mom, were there cameras back in Jesus' days?"
Yeah.
She said, "No." And there's a picture of Jesus in the glass, you know. And I said, "Well, how do they know that's what he looked like?"
Yeah.
And she told me the same thing. Shut up.
Yeah.
Slapped me and shit.
You know, like Abraham was searching for God. Like you read his story, he was just searching for God. He didn't know who God was. He thought his shadow was God. He thought the sun was God. He was thinking everything was God, you know what I'm saying? So he kept searching, you know. That's kind of like being on how my path been. I know I'm bad, you know what I'm saying? I'm a bad kid, you know what I'm saying? I'm bad growing up, but I'm knowing it's something. It's something. So once I start studying and get knowledge of self, you know what I'm saying? I found God when I looked in the mirror.
What triggered you to find knowledge of self? Was it a situation you was put in? Was it a circumstance you was put in? What finally made it, when you were searching for so long, what made something click that said, this is it?
When we was kids, like we were coming up, like the first hip hop that was coming out, it was more like 5% lessons hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, you know, telling you that, you know, you was a king, you know, you was a god, you know, so that's where we get the first lessons from. Then, you know, we used to see the Nation of Islam, you know, they used to pass out final call, we buy final call through the hood, and we were just trying to figure out what was going on, you know what I'm saying? When he said the black man was God, you know, that fucked me up, you know what I'm saying? So I had to figure out what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just kept studying, you know, and I found it.
You found it in the free world?
I found it in the free world, you know what I'm saying? In prison, you know what I'm saying? I was pushing. I was niggas looking at me, you know, most motherfuckers looking at me as a street nigga, they didn't know I had knowledge of self.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I gave a lot of lessons in there, man. I had a lot of people around me. They loved knowledge, you know what I'm saying? They never had it. So I went to prison when I was old. I ain't go as a young nigga, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I already had knowledge from the streets. So when I went in there, you know, you wouldn't even believe how many people really searching for knowledge, you know what I'm talking about?
Back to our original question, lack of knowledge in the hood.
Yeah, man, that's it.
Who is God?
You God.
Explain it.
You really got control of everything, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when I say you God, I say the black man is God. Mm-hmm. You know, because everything come out of black. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, once I started studying like science, right, you know, it told me that you was God, you know what I'm saying? You know, even though you might not think you can create trees and create, you know, things like that, now you God right here. Like this is you the future. You God, you know what I'm saying? You can determine it. You know what I'm saying? You got like, when we was kids, we used to watch cartoons, we would have like an angel and a devil on the side. Mm-hmm. So, you know, niggas be talking about, you know, that's how you is, your energy. You know, atom made of neutron, electron, positive and negative. So you got negative and you got positive. You know, we just really want more positive and negative, but negative will never go nowhere. That devil gonna always be there. And God gonna always be there. You just gotta be in tune. Yeah, you're not in tune, you know, you still blind, deaf, and dumb.
When you say everything comes from black, one of the most fascinating things in life to me is I know black people.
Yeah.
To me, that confirmed. You know what I mean? That's some of the craziest shit in the world. They come out with a blue-eyed, blonde-haired baby.
The Bible said, let there be light, because everything was black. But if you in like metaphoric world, you're gonna be thinking all kind of shit that can't even manifest. But when you in like knowledge of self world, where you know, you gotta be, you know, actual facts. You know what I'm saying? If not, you just dreaming or you just believing what your mom and them told you, what the school told you. You gotta really go search for this yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. One thing they can't debate or argue about is physics and math.
They can't. Numbers and science is universal. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get the truth through numbers. But if it don't add up, it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But if if you know your numbers, like knowledge through born, you know what I'm saying, you'll understand it. So, but that's for up to y'all to go study. That's up for y'all to go, get your lessons, you know what I'm saying? You can't believe what I say, you gotta go out there and do it yourself. Do your studying, man, till you die, because you'll never get it all.
Never stop learning.
Never stop learning.
Do you believe the earth is flat or round?
Shit, I ain't never been on top like that to even look, man. I heard the flat earth theories, and I heard the round earth theories, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I don't even like get that.
I'm the same way. I feel like at the end of the day, you can't prove either way.
Yeah.
But one thing that did stick out to me was that pilots use a flat earth map. You know what I'm saying?
But I wouldn't believe nothing NASA said, though. You know what I'm saying? Everything about fake, for like the moon landing, all this shit is fake. So if we believe what whoever in charge of it, we believe what they say, because first of all, they here to throw you off guard anyway.
Right.
They here to throw you off true knowledge anyway. So they want you to believe what they have already set up in this world, you know what I'm saying? They want you to believe and they want you to fall in line.
Do you believe people have the ability to control weather? We've been seeing some crazy shit going on.
Yeah, people can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like weather and everything, I feel like they can manipulate some up there, but for us just like control it the way they want to do, I don't feel like they can do that.
Because some of those cloud seeding things that they've come out and said about, that shit fucked me up.
I feel like they can do so much, because man brain is, you can do damn near anything, you know what I'm saying? Anything, you know what I'm saying? If you study something, you can almost do anything. Before them just controlling the complete weather, I don't believe that.
Do you believe professional sports are rigged? And why?
Everything rigged.
Everything rigged.
It's America, man.
Yeah.
It's built on rigged.
Yeah. What kind of gave that shit up to me was the point spread. It'd be 9.5 point spread. How the fuck I lose by 9 every time?
Gambling, man, gambling. You see, there's so much gambling going on right now. Everybody being sponsored by it. People feel to be just caught up with the gambling.
That shit done turned more and more into WWF to me, you know what I'm saying?
And you will never win. You might win sometime, but at the end, you will never be a winner. Not gambling.
Yeah. So, coming up, Parkside Villages, coming up rough, having it the way that you had it growing up, what inspired you to move into the music and become an artist, and then from there become run a record label and all that kind of stuff?
Like I said, like whatever you think, you can do it. I ain't know how to write no 16s. I ain't know how to do nothing. Like if you go study something and you think it, you can manifest it. I ain't know about being no CEO. I ain't know about none of that. I just did it. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta fall on your face. Then you gonna learn through that. Then you just keep going, and you never stop. If this is what you want to do, you know what I'm saying? I never stopped. We was all about promoting and advertising. You know what I'm saying? We never dropped a project if we didn't advertise it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when we walked out the door, we had money. You know what I'm saying?
For the younger audience out there, they may not be familiar with the Waco Caine movie. Explain what the Waco Caine movie was. What made you go the movie direction? Just explain for the youngsters that have no idea what Waco Caine is.
See, Waco Caine, like, I seen like Master P, and like I said, the same thing. I feel like you can do anything. I seen Master P come out with a movie. I seen, then I was watching MTV, and they was showing you how they made Star Wars, like they had it on sketch, and everything was a box. Every scene was a box. So that's what I learned. I said, every scene is a box, so I'm gonna write every scene, and that's how we did it. We ain't went to know nothing. We did it, we sold maybe 100,000 movies. It's physical, you know what I'm saying, $10, $20, you know what I'm saying?
That shit made it all the way to the New York Times for the younger audience that didn't catch that. It was before their era. We're talking mid-90s?
We talking about 98, 99 for the movie.
98, 99.
Yeah.
That shit crazy. So you wrote the script
Yeah, I'm freestyling this shit.
Freestyle and shit.
Freestyling it. You know what I'm saying? I was good at English in school, so I just feel like you didn't have to have the beginning, the middle, and the end. So, you know.
You just feeling everything in between.
A nigga can do anything. If you don't believe that, man, hey man, I feel sorry for you.
Like you said.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you. You don't believe you can do anything that's on this earth, if you don't believe you can do it, nah. Can't be around me either.
Yeah.
For real.
So, as far as my Waco, now, my knowledge of the Waco rap scene, to me, you know, I was born in '88, so I was coming up around the time the movie was coming out and shit like that. By the time I knew what was going on and shit like that. To me, you were the only one, the first one to be putting records out and getting on SoundScan and getting checks and shit like that. Explain how it was breaking through that door in an area that had never seen that shit before.
Well, it started off like for me learning the game like that, we had a group called Little Mob City. And so all I would do was buy magazines, we would buy CDs at Floyd's, every week something dropping, so I'm just reading on the back. Like, damn, how these motherfuckers get these CDs in the store, you know what I'm saying? Cause I had seen my partners get them stuff in the store like early 90s, like maybe 90, 89. But they was putting them in there like consigning them. But I wouldn't know how we can get them all over, so I seen, we was following the Bay big in Waco, so we was listening to like E40, Sebo, everything coming out the Bay. So it was a solo music group. It was a company on the back of there. And it was E40 Uncle's name was St. Charles. So I reached out to him, we called him, me and my people, and we did a distribution deal with him. You know what I'm saying? He showed us how he can put our stuff in the stores and all we gotta do is promote. But back then, the distributor, they was buying it up front if he was independent. So a lot of people was going through distributors. A lot of people didn't know how to do it. But you know what I'm saying, by me reading, so we got us a little fax machine, we try to set up us a little company, and we had it right in my partner mama house, and we would just text people and fax people, not text, but fax, there wasn't no texting, but we fax people, and he wanted to fuck with us, and we sent him the CDs, so when we went to Austin, we seen our stuff from the store, so my mind think, okay then, this shit is real, you know what I'm saying? So it was a company called Southwest.
Yeah, I remember.
They was called Big Tex at first. So I sent them some Mama Ray, my album was Mama Raised a Hustler. When I sent them that, they probably had it about 9 months, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even damn about the money, I was in the streets getting money, so I wasn't caring about the CD at the time. I was just, my shit gonna be in the stores.
Right.
So when he changed his name to Southwest, when he got to Southwest, then I went up there and hollered at him. You know, he had $10,000 from me, from his other distributor. He just switched.
Yeah.
Then I knew this shit was real then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cause this is some shit that, you know, you hustling in the streets trying to get. So when I seen that 10,000, then I was the type of person I would always ask questions. If I ain't know nothing, I wanna know. So I used to sit up in the office with him, even with E40 Uncle, I used to talk to him on the phone, he would just tell me. So when I went to the office with him, this place is in Houston. So I'm from Waco and I'm in a big ass city. It's numbered H-Town. Now I used to fuck with H-Town as far as the streets. Now I'm in the music shit up here. So when I'm talking to him, he telling me, well, you need to go get some Swishahouse. Swishahouse didn't have no distribution in. They was selling on the street. Then he was telling me about Southport Mexican. We was already fucking with Southport Mexican, you know, as far as lowrider tours.
Right.
So once I got all the information from him, it was all about who can you put on your project? Like, I'm from Waco, so we ain't gonna have no, you know, you gotta think I'm from Waco, you know, we from small towns. You're not gonna have no, they gonna sell big.
Yeah.
So I'm going up there fucking with niggas already got a little name moving, but I'm still pushing this Waco shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting Waco on every motherfucking thing. You know, they thinking we from Dallas. They don't know who the fuck Waco is.
Yeah.
This is back in the day, you know what I'm saying?
But internet like that.
Yeah, so once we learn, cause we got 817 area code just like Fort Worth. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers thinking, yeah, so once we get up there, that's where the money was, Houston, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we get up there and it was beautiful, you know what I'm saying? He telling me, you need to get these type of artists on there. And I ain't take it personal, I'm all business. What's gonna make me sell? I even put my solo albums to the side to do compilations and, cause I'm about the money.
Right.
It ain't personal. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we did, and we probably dropped over 100 CDs through this man. and made lots of money.
You said about 100,000 movies. About how many units as far as the music? Would you say?
Hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands of units.
You know, for the street and distribution. Because I'm not dropping solo projects. I'm dropping Street Boss albums. I might drop a Hustler E album, but my main thing, I'm dropping compilations.
Right.
And that's like mixtapes. So, but I'm making sure Waco niggas on this motherfucker. It's the only way we can get heard. We gotta mix ourselves with these Houston, Dallas niggas. When I was coming up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Waco didn't really have no brand at the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right now, you know, the motherfucker think Waco the craziest niggas in this motherfucker. For real.
We do a good job of going along.
We represent this
Yeah,
shit.
we do a good job of carrying this shit out, man. So you came out as a solo artist, you started pushing compilations. When you start moving as a CEO and a record label owner, who was one of the first artists that you put under, who was the first artist that was under you?
Street Bosses.
Yeah.
Street Bosses. You know, from Street Bosses, Take Some Money Boys, T Tokens. You know, I had Big I had Capone. Capone, one of my biggest selling artists. You know what I'm saying? Because the Spanish community, you know, they always was good to, you know, we was tapped into the Spanish community. You know what I'm saying? We had niggas in the essays. So, like I said, most everything I would turn a compilation into a movie. So it's like a group. But I'm just putting like other artists from big cities on there with it. So people that recognize them, and then they start listening to us, and they say, you know, we jumping in the city.
Yeah, man, that's just fire, man. So that was the history. Mm-hmm. What does Hustler have going on now, and what is Hustler planning to have going on in the future?
Man, I ain't gonna stop working, man, because when it comes to music, you know what I'm saying? If you're a CEO or something, you know what I'm saying, as long as you know the game, as long as you know how to promote and market, you can run this shit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta have you just gotta keep dropping. Just keep dropping over and over, just keep dropping and promoting. A lot of things I didn't get in the digital game, but I went and studied, you know, about maybe 4 or 5 years just trying to figure out what this algorithm shit is, trying to figure out this shit. So I'm just into like pushing young artists coming up, pushing my son. I'm doing a cartoon series. I'm doing a barbecue, you know what I'm saying? I got a food truck coming. You know, we got the clothing line still jumping, the t-shirts, Take Some Money Boys, on my hustle gear. You know, I ain't finna stop, you know what I'm saying? Pass this shit down to the young one, man.
No,
Keep it going.
No, for real, man. I definitely gotta salute you, bro, to be able to evolve with the times, from cassettes to CDs to digital. To me, that's commendable. And your ability to adapt and learn and evolve is very commendable. So I definitely salute you for coming through, man. If there's anything else you want to leave the people with, anything else? To me, what drives me to do this podcast, bro, I feel like books are gonna be obsolete, and in the future, these are gonna be our books. So
That's gonna be your books.
Is there anything you want to leave the people with on our way out, man?
I always want to leave the people with you know, whatever you do, just don't stop, man. You know, you're gonna fall sometime, but you know, you're gonna be determined as who you are, but can you bounce back? You know what I'm saying? You gotta fall, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be some good times, it's gonna be some bad times, man. But don't quit. You know, you can do any motherfucking thing you want to.
For real, with that, man, that's a wrap for the Bossed Up Podcast, man, where we give you media from our perspective, you know what I'm saying? Uncut, straight, and raw with Hustler E, man, live with Mr. Waco K, man, we out.
It's going down.
Yeah. You already know what it is, man. double back, the right shot. We in this thing.